My parents are educators. My sister works with the postal office. My brother, most of the money from his company comes from NIH. My grandparents are on Social Security and Medicaid. I am very personally affected by the decisions this administration.
We do have in the studio, though, Jeff, a local organizer with the 5051 organization. He is a person who's lived here locally for quite a while, has gotten involved in the 5051, and he is kind of the lead organizer for the protest that is happening at Big Spring Park today at 2 p.m. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be speaking at it. So if you want to come and see me, if you want to come and heckle me, come and hang out with me if you would like. I think it's really important. And Jeff is here to talk to us about the event and why he's doing it. Jeff, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. So give us the top line on what's happening at Big Spring Park at 2 p.m.
Yeah, at Big Spring Park is the local protest for the Hands-Off National Day of Action. This is a coalition with several nonpartisan organizations, 5051, Indivisible, Women's March, and many others have put on a National Day of Action today. And there are over 1,000 events across the nation. This is just us for the locally. And we're here to stand up for our rights, stand up for our jobs, stand up against executive overreach and authoritarianism.
I appreciate it. I think it's all really important. We'll talk some more about some of the discrete actions or some of the discrete problems that folks are having with the administration. And, you know, I know that you've been spending a lot of time putting this together. You've been spending a lot of time, doing this kind of stuff. And so, I'm constantly hearing how much money folks like you are getting paid from George Soros. So my questions are, one, how much is George Soros paying you? And why have I not gotten my check yet? What's going on with that?
I mean, if we're talking about organizers on the left getting money from George Soros, I want to know where my check is. I think it's a complete false narrative that's being pushed. The 5051 movement is a completely volunteer organization. There are no paid people in it. We are decentralized, so we don't even have a national board. We come together as a collective of states and decide our path forward and go from there. Local organizers like myself are putting their own money into it. Mm-hmm. I am paying for supplies to go into this protest, flyers, advertisements, things like that. I saw the other day Joe Rogan had a picture of someone with a single sheet that had chants printed on it, and that was suddenly evidence that the protesters were being paid. I just want to say, Joe Rogan, that's like 10-cent copy at Office Depot. Like the organizers are putting their own money into this. Like, it's just a complete false narrative.
Yeah, you mean to tell me that you have the money in your own bank account to write notes on? That's crazy. That's definitely the hallmarks of a well-funded organization there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, we get stuff like that all the time, and people, one of my favorite things is people talking about, how much money the big union bosses make, and it's like literally the highest paid union official in the country makes like $600,000 a year, which is probably too much, frankly. Mm-hmm. But how much is the highest paid boss in the country? Well, that's Elon Musk. He's worth $400 billion. Yeah. So, I think there's a pretty big difference there. And most union officials, I know this for a fact, most union officials are actually volunteers, just like just like the 5051 organizers here locally and across the country. Most union stewards do that stuff on their own time. They go and read case law on their own time. They go and take these trainings on their own time. And so That's what I've done. So yeah, the idea that you have to be paid to be frustrated with what this administration is doing is just so kind of laughable on its face. That I don't think that most people actually really believe that kind of stuff. And so, what is the real reason that you have decided to get involved in this way and in this organization to try to put together events like this?
Yeah, so I've actually been involved in the organizing community for a couple of years now. And what really got me going this time around, what really spooled me up with 5051. So I guess I'll talk to it first. It's a brand new organization. It's only 2 months old and was created in response to all the unlawful executive orders that the Trump administration was putting out. And I guess for me personally, I got laid off during all of this. So 2 months ago, in February, 1,400 employees of my company were let off with a 15-minute notice. And it's a major aerospace contractor for the government. So, I mean, I am directly affected by this. My parents are educators. My sister works with the postal office. My brother gets most of the money from his company comes from NIH. And my grandparents are on Social Security and Medicaid. So, like, I am very personally affected by the decisions this administration is putting and the effect that it is having on everyday American lives. And I'm not a special case. Like, there are that I would say it would be hard to find somebody who is not affected by the decisions this administration is pushing and the cuts that DOGE is chainsawing through our federal government.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
And doing it with such glee, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, these people, these oligarchs like Elon Musk and the folks in the Trump administration really are just reveling in the pain that normal working people are feeling from these actions. And then as his stock price falls, he starts literally almost crying on national TV telling us that why aren't more people feeling sad for me because my stocks are going down. It really is frustrating to see. And what about, you mentioned that you are not a special case. What are some of the other folks in your organization? Like what are some of their stories on a high level? Like, why are they getting involved?
At least in the state, a lot of our members are students. A lot of our members are in their retirements. So things like our First Amendment rights being stomped on, and student protesters across the country just being abducted and disappeared by unmarked officials. That's really scaring people, and so they instead of hiding in their fear, they are taking on courage and standing up. Again, for some of our more senior members, it's because they're directly affected by the threats of cuts to Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. We have a budget resolution that's going through Congress right now that almost guarantees that those programs will have funds slashed for them. And that's gonna affect us.
And that one is a really frustrating. That budget resolution thing is a really frustrating dynamic because right now it's just a budget resolution, and there is no so far actual bill put on the table that would cut Medicaid. And so then, because of that technical reality, people are going on talk radio and saying, oh, nobody wants to cut Medicaid. Medicaid cuts are not on the table. Nobody's even proposed that before. Or nobody's even proposed that this session. But the budget resolution, it calls for something like $800 billion in cuts from the Energy and Commerce Committee, which is in charge of Medicaid. And the only way that you actually get $800 billion in cuts from the Energy and Commerce Committee is if most of that comes from Medicaid. And so there are a lot of people playing
They're playing dumb.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're playing dumb with this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Guys, they're just they're playing semantics, and that is, I don't know, politics.
Right.
As politics. I didn't actually say that. We didn't actually do that. But the reality of it is, I think that's one of the things that that kind of has awoken up in me of like, the system, the intent of the system doesn't matter. The intent of the system doesn't matter. The law can say something, and they can put it forward to save votes. But
right.
if the reality is, if it can be used to oppress, it probably will be used to oppress.
Yeah, I mean, and I know, as president of the North Alabama Area Labor Council, that is the regional federation of unions, we are coming out and supporting this. Like I said, I'm going to be speaking at it. And just from the union perspective, I mean, there's so many things that are going on that are directly attacking union rights. I mean, the National Labor Relations Board, which is responsible for overseeing like union elections and unfair labor practice charges, no longer has a quorum at the national level. Stuff can still go through, but if it's a big case that's controversial and it gets appealed all the way up, then you're not going to be able to get a resolution on that. The Federal Labor Relations Authority, I think, no longer has a quorum, which is the federal sector equivalent. They have taken away the union rights for the majority of federal workers, like 2/3 of the federal workforce. Their union rights completely gone now if Trump is able to get his way. And Pete Hegseth just issued an order barring project labor agreements on Department of Defense construction contracts. And really quickly, what that means is that you are not allowed to go and specifically try to get union labor on Department of Defense construction. And we have had a direct impact right here in Huntsville. The Missile Defense Agency was doing going to do a big expansion. They had already gotten a project labor agreement. The local building trades unions did. It was going to be 200 to 300 union pay scale jobs from people that live and work here in Huntsville and Madison County. And after that order came down from Pete Hegseth, they ripped up that project labor agreement. They are rebidding the project, even though they already had the contract signed. They were ready to go to work. And now they're going and, talking about government efficiency. They're rebidding this whole thing. And now it's likely going to go to this construction is likely going to go to non-union contractors who will potentially be paying as little as half of what the union construction workers in this community would have been paid. And these people are likely going to be coming from outside of the community, taking what little money they do make and sending it back home. It's just really, really frustrating. Lots of things to be angry about. And just as a final wrap up, you don't even have to be you can be somebody who voted for Trump, who is even generally conservative, and participate in actions like this because there are lots of people that are conservatives that are frustrated with what this administration is doing, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. 5051 is a non-partisan organization. We welcome people from left, center, and right into our organization, so long as you are really fed up with how this administration is affecting your lives. Many of our partners for today's day of action are also nonpartisan. So this is a national movement. This isn't a left-wing radical thing. This is everyday Americans standing up for their rights.
Jeff, local 5051 organizer here in Huntsville, Alabama. The protest is at 2 p.m. in Big Spring Park. See you there. Thank you for coming in.
If you'd let me give another plug here,
go ahead.
I just want to say that it's not just Huntsville. We've got Florence, Huntsville, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Opelika, Auburn, Mobile, Pensacola. I guess if you're listening from Tennessee, we've got Nashville and Chattanooga. And if you're over in Georgia, you got Atlanta and Columbus. So they are everywhere. There are over 1,000 events today, and most of them start afternoon. So you can go to handsoff.com .org and take a look at what your local events are.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.